Rosemary Ndlovu can expect a verdict in her case on the 22nd of October. The prosecution has wrapped up its case, calling witnesses to affirm that she had ordered the murder of several of her relatives and a boyfriend to claim life insurance money. Now, Linda Mnisi has been following that story for us. So, Linda, a day of closing arguments and really bringing this case to conclusion in as far as that trial is concerned.
Indeed, Kathy, and you'll remember that the big question here, which is something that Rosemary said in the last court appearance, was, where is the evidence that I did all of this? I mean, it really reads like a movie on paper. I mean, the judge even said this, today, saying that this case is really one of a kind, but Rosemary questioning, where is the evidence? Now, the state, in its closing argument, saying that, well, we depend on circumstantial evidence. There's no direct link to Rosemary Ndlovu committing the murders, but we rely on this circumstantial evidence, but also the similar effects. If you look at the patterns in which these crimes were committed in terms of taking insurance policy payouts, when it was taken, the period in which it was taken, how many days it took her, to claim when the deceased was found, where she was. The state saying that it's so surprising that with every person that died, she was the first person to respond. She was always within the vicinity. So the state saying that if you look at all of that and how, for example, at face value, this may seem as though, it's nothing. She took out insurance because she claimed that she wanted to take care of her family members. You look at in the instance of her cousin, witness Madala Homo. She took out 2 insurance payouts. They paid 131,000 rands, but she did not contribute to the funeral proceeding. So what really was the motive?
Let's talk then about the judge who is expected to, of course, deliver a ruling in this matter later on this month. Any indication of where his thinking is at? Did we get any glimpses of that in today's court case?
Well, I mean, throughout the trial, you look at Judge Ramarumo Munama as someone who really is thorough in the way that he does things. He is very patient in the way that he's been conducting his trial. I mean, if you remember the past couple of appearances when Rosemary said she's sick, he would adjourn the case just to allow her to have a fair trial. Today what we saw was also quite similar, where he would ask the defense, even assisting the defense in terms of the questioning, and helping him with some of the facts in the case where he may have gotten them wrong. The defense also stating that, in fact, when it comes to their case, there isn't sufficient evidence. They believe that there's no sufficient evidence, but the judge kept on saying, but I'm inviting you to counter the evidence of the state. They have come here with 52 witnesses. They've come with neighbors. They've come with police officers. They are saying your client lured her family members, including her boyfriend, would treat them nicely, and later they would be found dead, she would claim. What do you have to say with regards to that? So we're seeing someone who one might say went extensively at trying to give Rosemary a fair trial.
All right. In fact, let's take you to one of those bites where the judge in this case is actually giving his own thoughts into how proceedings should be unfolding.
Was Madala Homo her husband?
My lord, he was not a husband.
And as a result, that is not true statement. Is that correct?
Indeed, my lord.
And he comes from a police woman.
My lord, with regard to that, my lord, the evidence of the accused is that when he registered Madala Homo, he informed the salesperson that this is his cousin. However, the error was with the salesperson of the insurance, my lord. That's why, my lord, I'm going back.
That is a version.
Yes.
But the version of the state, if you read the document, it says what? And it says it's a spouse.
Yes.
And if it's a spouse and you discover an error, how do you correct an error in order to get the things honestly and rightly done?
You inform, my lord,
Sorry?
You inform the sales person that
He made an amendment.
Yes.
Did he make amendment?
My lord, that was not done.
The only inference that this Honourable Court can draw from the facts which was admitted, the facts which was not disputed, the facts which was placed by the Honourable Court, and the circumstances, my Lord, drawn from the common cause facts, is that the only inference is that the accused is the individual who perpetrated these offences, and that she should accordingly be found guilty, my Lord.
All right, and of course, those are some of the scenes that unfolded earlier, Linda.
Indeed. I mean, if you listen to the line of questioning there from the judge, asking about the instance where witness Madala Homo was listed as a spouse, saying, coming from a police officer, how do you explain that she made such an error? She listed her husband as a spouse, a boyfriend,
Her boyfriend, yeah.
As a spouse. She listed her cousin as the spouse. As a police officer, when you realize that the insurance company has made an error, what do you do? If you look at the case of Brilliant Mashukha as well, her niece, who was listed as the son, what do you do in such a case? You heard that the defense saying, well, you go and rectify. Did she rectify? No, she did not rectify. In fact, she went on and claimed.
All right, so lots more still to happen in this case, and as you heard from Linda, judgment reserved for today, but it's expected to take place later on this month.